Criminal gangs from Turkey have become significant players in trafficking cocaine to growing markets in Eastern Europe, as well as the Gulf states. According to organized crime experts, Turkey has become a global trafficking hub for South American narcotics, fueling rising demand for the drug in Eastern Europe along with the Persian Gulf. A two-part analysis by some sources, an investigative organization, published today and last week unveiled that gangs in Turkey, a country which is already notorious for its prominent role in narco-trafficking between Afghanistan and Europe, now have significant interests in the cocaine trade. Turkish organized crime has relied heavily on high-level corruption ever since the time of the Ottoman Empire. And upon the empire's fall in the early 20th century, these symbiotic ties were so deep that narcotics helped build the new Turkish state. And according to Professor Ryan Gindras, author of Heroin and Organized Crime, as well as the Making of Modern Turkey, he told sources, from the 1940s to the 1970s, where the degree to narco-traffickers were all in alliance with political figures, or they were protected by political figures, was unparalleled. But by the 2000s, decades of democratization and the U.S.-Turkish counter-narcotics efforts had greatly improved things, stated Gindras. Turkey's police and customs were an effective drug-seizing force, and in 2013 the country even hit its best-ever anti-corruption score on Transparency International's annual index, which ranked 53 out of 177. However, all that ended in December 2013. It all began with a corruption scandal that ensnared 52 ruling Justice and Development Party members, including 3 sons of cabinet ministers. Also, the AKP's then Prime Minister and now President could have reacted in several ways. However, he chose fury, and just within days, 5 police chiefs who had overseen the raids were all sacked for what he called abuse of office. And then another 350 were quickly dismissed across the country, which included the heads of the organized crime unit as well as anti-smuggling, as well as financial crime subunits. And almost all of the counter-narcotics division, around 8,000 police officers, had lost their jobs. More than 95% of personnel, said Mahmut Cengiz, the division chief from the years 2011 to 2015. The government had just destroyed the institutional memory, he told sources. This all created an unprecedented opportunity for drug traffickers. Besides crippling the country's counter-narcotics capacity, and then corrupting officials suddenly became much easier. An attempted coup against Erdogan in 2016, which after the whole police departments were gutted, only accelerated this trend. Moreover, Cengiz said, the message for the newly assigned officers was if you just obeyed the government along with Erdogan's regime, then they would turn a blind to all wrongdoings, he told sources. After 2016, with increasing numbers of prosecutors, judges, military as well as police became involved in cocaine trafficking. Then next year, in 2017, narco seizures spiked in Turkey. They have increased yearly since then, in direct contrast to Turkey's corruption, ranking by the Transparency International, which has since plummeted. Turkey now sits below Colombia and Brazil. In the year 2021, all this created a dramatic series of allegations. Sedat Peker, who is a convicted Turkish gangster and lives in Dubai, had released several videos accusing leading AKP party members of narco-trafficking and homicide. He claimed the 4.9 tons seized in Colombia's port of Buenaventura in the year 2020 had been part of this scheme. The increase in Turkey's involvement came about, the report said, when South American narcotics producers needed a brand new route eastwards for their travel, as so much of it was now being seized going into Western Europe. Moreover, the Turkish gangs were attracted to the narco business due to their maritime expertise, and diminishing profits from heroin due to falling wholesale prices, growing demand for narcotics in badly supplied parts of Eastern Europe, as well as the Middle East, also closer links between Turkish criminals, including the far-right Grey Wolves, as well as the cartels in Latin America. As a result, Turkish traffickers have become vital players supplying South American narcotics to emerging markets in Russia and the Balkans, as well as a new desert cocaine route through Iraq into the Persian Gulf, according to the research. It was found that seizures of narcotics within Turkey and its heading from South America to Turkey have jumped in only a few years. And between 2017 and 2021, narcotics intercepted in Turkey had doubled from 1.4 tons to 2.8 tons. And while amounts of the narcotics seized en route have spiraled, including one enormous shipment of about 5 tons were discovered on its way to Turkey from the notorious Colombian port of Buenaventura. Turkey's emergence as a narco-smuggling hub means that drug markets in Eastern Europe, Russia, along with the Caucasus as well as the Gulf states, which until now have been awash with inexpensive, synthetic stimulants such as mephedrone, speed, and captagon, and have a new way of getting the real thing. Now, locked out of the narco trade in Western Europe, which is mainly dominated by Italian and Albanian crime gangs, the Turkish smugglers, ideally situated between Europe as well as the Middle East, are now sending around 60 to 70% of their product to the Persian Gulf, with 30% going to the Balkans, Caucasus, but most usually Russia. Wastewater research has further found evidence of rising narcotics use in Lithuania along with Latvia, as well as more seizures of the narcotics, found being trafficked north through Romania, Moldova, Georgia, as well as Armenia. But experts told several sources that by far the most profitable market for narco traffic all through Turkey was in the Persian Gulf, and the world's most expensive narco market. And most notably, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are home to the rising criminal hotspot of Dubai. Although the consumption is relatively very low compared to Western Europe, the rarity of narcotics in the region means successful smugglers can easily sell it for massive profits. And in Saudi Arabia, a gram of cocaine retails at $500, around 10 times the price in London. So arrive from Turkey into the Persian Gulf by sea and air, and while the rest is smuggled through a new route, from Turkey by truck across Iraq and the Arabian Desert. And according to the research, the route was all set up by Syrian drug traffickers displaced by the country's civil war, who took over the banana trade out of Mersin to hide several kilos of narcotics in fruit trucks crossing the desert. Moreover, the research found the rising use by Turkish gangsters of their homeland as a narco-trafficking center has been made easier by institutional corruption. In the year 2013, a bribery scandal erupted involving up to 50 members of the ruling Justice and Development Party, including 3 sons of cabinet ministers. A while back, a series of more corruption allegations against the Turkish government were all made by Sedat Peker, who is a convicted Turkish gangster living in Dubai. He has released a few videos accusing leading AKP party members of cocaine trafficking as well as homicide, allegations that went viral in Turkey. Then just a month later, perhaps coincidentally, the Turkish authorities made their largest narco seizure ever of 1.3 tons. Going over both Europe and the Middle East, Turkey is now situated to traffic narcotics to either region. And historically, narco has gone from the Middle East to Europe, and MDMA as well as opiate precursors have gone from Europe to the Middle East. Also, narco has gone both ways. Narcotics have been a game-changer, though, with its importance growing as the map moves from west to north to east. Many experts now remain divided on the size of the Turkish narcotics share going to each region. However, there is consensus that there is at least as much going to the Middle East as to Europe. The Turkish groups are now increasingly looking northward to Eastern Europe and the Caucasus. Today, narco use continues to spread all across the former Soviet bloc, and also the customs officials in these countries have little experience in identifying the drug. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed today's video and found it interesting, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be always updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.